One and all, this is the COT data video for the week beginning the 19th of February 2024. The EUR/FX has continued its decline. We were all the way up there, 152,000. We're now at 52,000. So we've had 100,000 contracts selling on the euro. So when these two lines cross, we'll get the sell. So it might be the situation where the Euro USD spot, the pair that you'll be trading, it might be rallying in order to sell at some point, because this is selling, indicating that we're going to have a sell set up on the Euro USD currency pair. So we might be seeing like a pump on that particular currency pair in order for it to sell off when these two lines cross. So it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but if these two lines cross, it's normally a good indication for a sell. Remember, we were down parity, back below parity, which is crazy if you think about it. And then of course we had the big buy opportunity, and the Euro USD did really well. So it's possible we're going to get the sell coming up on the Euro USD, but it might be pumping in order to sell off at a later point in time. All right, so remember, this is the net non-coms, this is the banks, institutions. So if they are selling this heavily, we have to be aware of it. Okay, so it's possibly going to be setting up for a sell, but we might just need to flush a little bit of retail guys out first. Okay, it's a hypothesis, but when these two lines cross, it's usually a good indication for a trade opportunity. Yen, this is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way, because Kristen's done this for us on Saturday, which is cool. It's really useful, and thanks to Kristen for doing that. Yen has dumped. We are below zero, and we're more further away from zero than we were the week prior. 84 to 111. So it's quite bearish, yen. Okay, if we continue to its descent, they might have to intervene on the BOJ, on the yen price. So we can take the euro off. Do be aware that it's selling off quite heavily, and it might be setting up for a sell, but it might need to just have a little rinse of the retail guys first. Okay, euro off, Aussie on. Moving in parallel to yen, so be aware of that. It's very unusual. It started to correlate back here, and it's moving in parallel very strongly. So I don't know which one's lying. One of them is lying, because they shouldn't be moving in parallel. The Aussie is a risky currency, and the yen should be a safe haven, in speech marks. Okay, so it might be that the yen is losing its safe haven status, and it's becoming risky, which would be very strange. If they do anything on the interest rate, then it's going to be less safe haven. So it might be forecasting that they might be doing something there, or the Aussie is lying. So you have to be a bit careful. They should be running like this, which is really strange. Okay, Aussie off, pound on. Pound is pumped 34 to 50,000, so it's a big increase. That'd be interesting if we break above this high. If you remember, that was the good sell opportunity here, because we had that channel break. We had a lower high and a lower low, and we had a big sell off, a big pump now. Yeah, be careful with the pound, because it's clearly quite strong. Okay, take pound off, CAD on. CAD's been all over the shop. I wonder if we're going to breach the zero line. We didn't quite. It looks like a very sort of lackluster pump from the week prior. We were below zero, but we've had a very small increase of longs. So if we get the crossover, that's going to be the dollar CAD trade setup there, where we're going to get the UC sell, okay, the dollar CAD sell, because the CAD will be stronger than the dollar. So you've got to be a bit careful there. See, the dollar is just kind of just mellowing, it's just going sideways, isn't it? So it might be just waiting for it to pounce, maybe. CAD off, gold on. Gold's going to be interesting. Okay, so 131 from 161, so it's a 30,000 contract difference. Still massively positive. Look where the zero is, but we are seeing a decline of positions there, and we had some resistance up here, as you can see. We could probably argue triple and double top. yeah, we'll be looking at gold quite closely in Discord, so be sure to be checking that if you're trading gold. We're doing trade setups nearly every day. Gold off, and then we can look at New Zealand dollar, and we have got the NU long because the New Zealand dollar has overtaken the dollar, the USD. So that would be a buy. Okay, so you want to be a bit careful about shorting the New Zealand dollar, and do note that their interest rate speculation is that they might hike. So it'll be quite an interesting development. What happens with the big fish allocation of funds? They're probably going to go into the New Zealand dollar, and it could be like an attractive place to invest if they're doing anything with their interest rate hikes. And we know that the dollar, the USD, is looking to pause and cut. Okay, so there could be like a trade opportunity there, possibly. Okay, and then lastly, Swiss franc, and that'll be just be sideways as normal. Yeah, it'll be just sideways. I won't make it a long one. Doesn't need to be anything else added to this video. Just to say is that if you want access to this file, you'll need to get to the Bulletin tier on patreon.com, and this is your file that you can like use at your leisure, and you can do all sorts of cool things like changing the date range, changing the currency pairs. You've also got your hedge fund sentiment positioning, you've got your commercials, and we've got a delta as well, so we can see the difference from the last week, and it's all quite cool. Christian's done a lot of work for us, which is pretty awesome, and you know, all this net non-com stuff and all this really cool analysis that you can do, yeah, all that stuff. So it could be quite useful, especially if you're trading gold and you want to look at like historical data. It goes back a long way. So that's today's video on the COT data. I'll be back on Monday as per for the daily bulletins, and I wish you a good weekend.